Hello again. In this video we're going to look at the future and promise classes from the C++ standard library. Just to remind ourselves, we have a promise object which is associated with a future object, and between them they create a shared state between two threads. So this represents a communication channel between the threads. The promise object can store a result in this shared state, and the future object can get that result from the shared state. The future class represents a result which is not yet available. This is something which will be lazily evaluated. It will be filled in when the result becomes available. And this is one of the most important classes in C++ concurrency. It's used with many different asynchronous objects and operations, not just the promise. Normally we don't create a future object directly. We can obtain one from a promise object, or alternatively an asynchronous operation will return a future. We'll look at that when we get on to asynchronous operations later. The future class is a template class defined in the future header. The type parameter is the type of the data which it will return. It has a getMember function which will obtain the result when it becomes available. This member function will block until the operation is complete, and then it'll fetch the result and it'll return it as its return value. There are also some versions which I'll call wait and friends. These do not return results, so you can use these if you just want to know if something's happened. The wait member function will block until the operation is complete. Wait for and wait until will block with a timeout, so you can try timeout and then try again. The promise is also a template class defined in the future header, whose parameter is the type of the result. The constructor of the promise will create a future object which is associated with it, and it'll set up the shared state between the promise and the future. We can obtain this future by calling the getFutureMember function. So typically you'd create a promise and then get its future. As well as the getFutureMember function, there's also a setValueMember function which will store its argument in the shared state, so that will set the result of this thread's operation. And there's also a setException. If an exception is thrown, you can use this to store it in the shared state. To write a program using the producer-consumer model, the parent thread will create a promise object. The producer's task function will take this promise object as an argument. It's passed by reference because the function needs to modify it. Then, when it's done something, it'll call setValue, or possibly setException. The consumer task function will take the associated future with this promise as an argument, again by reference, and it'll call get or wait and friends to obtain the result. Okay, that's it for this video. I'll see you next time, but until then, keep coding.